Hey everyone, it's Michael here and welcome back to Sales Academy. And in this video, what we're going to be talking about is communications. Now, communication is going to be part of everything that we do when it comes to sales and marketing, right? Whether you're communicating through an email, through a cold call, one-to-one, face-to-face talking, right? And so we need to be able to really talk about more about communication and why it's important when we are making cold calls or when we are making cold walk-ins to people. Now, the thing though is if I ask you, how do you communicate? Most people, the average person is going to say, well, I communicate through talking, through verbal language. And the truth with that is, sure, but there's actually a study that was made. And what they actually said was that in communication, it's 7% spoken words. 7% spoken words, meaning the words that are coming out of our mouth, the type of words that we use, those are only 7% of communication. So what are the other percentages? Well, one is also voice tone, which is 38% of communication. And the other is 55% body language, which is pretty much non-verbal communication. 7% spoken words and the rest is non-verbal communication. Now, let's talk about the second one, which is the voice tone. Have you ever spoken to someone and they're just talking just like this to you guys, and they just want to talk to you in a monotone voice, which is their voice just goes flatlined, just like this? And whenever you ever dealt with a person who speaks in a monotone voice, a lot of people just gets turned off and gets bored right away, right? Because it's boring. And just like, for example, in a heartbeat, when you get monitored by an EKG, flatline means you're dead. Plain and simple. So when we are selling, when we are communicating with people, when we want to actually provide value to someone and have them see that, we have to pay attention to our voice and the tonality of our voice. A good example is the typical salesperson, right? The typical salesperson, like you know right away they're a salesperson just by hearing their voice. And you know, a lot of people think that, let me sound excited, like, hi, let me share with you about this product that we're offering. It's an amazing, amazing product. And when they talk like that, in all honesty, a lot of people knows right away they're selling something. And part of our brain automatically turns on the warning signal and say, oh, this guy's gonna try to take my money right now. And the truth is we need to avoid that, right? Especially when we're doing cold calls, when people can't even see our nonverbal, our body language. So remember, 7%, spoken words, 38% is voice and tone, 55%, which is a large amount, is the nonverbal body language. So when we're doing cold calls, you have to make sure you're using the scripts correctly. Because you have to make sure the words come out right. You have to make sure the way you're talking. Think about the person that you listen to, that has higher value for you, that you give respect. They don't talk in a high voice. They talk in a kind of going down a little bit because they're more commanding. And that is where technically you need to be able to be. Is you're not here to try to, be some guru rah trying to push these people. You're trying to lead them to the direction that your product can actually help them. So you have to look at your voice, how it's going. And you don't want it to be a high pitched, but you don't want it to be monotone. And you obviously don't want to be talking like this because talking really soft, there's no person out there that's going to really want to, listen. Because maybe when you talk really slow and low toned, maybe it actually sounds like you don't believe in the product. You don't have enough confidence in the product. So as you guys can see, is when I speak to you guys, I will make sure that my voice my tonality will go up and down a little bit, but never will it actually just be too high pitched up there. It's a one-on-one situation. And then also think about the cadence of your talk. Are you talking really, 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 really fast? Right? If somebody who's talking really fast, like right now, if I'm talking to you really fast right now, there's maybe some words that you're not going to be able to pay attention to. And remember, 7% of the words is important still. So sometimes when you're talking too fast, people are like, wait, let me catch up. They miss certain things. But you don't want to talk really slow or really low as well. So pay attention to those, right? 7% words, that's your scripts, your talk tracks. 38% voice, paying attention to your vocal tonalities, your pitches, how your voice inflects. And let's talk about basic body language. And we're actually going to create a full course just on body language in sales and marketing, right? We will make a full course for that eventually. Actually, by now it should be out in our training as well. But let's talk about 55% body language. So when you do a cold walk-in, okay, we talked in our previous videos, watch the bubble. Don't be in somebody's face too much. When I approach the gatekeeper, if they're in a desk, in a reception area or whatever, I'm not going to go straight to them in, broad shoulders and walk straight to them. And the reason for that is, through evolutions, let's go ahead and go back to the caveman areas. Somebody who's going straight, and pay attention to this, has anybody like walked straight towards you? Like you're literally facing them. You don't know who they are, and they start walking straight at you. That's a little intrusive, and sometimes your heart starts pounding, like, who's this person, right? So, the best way to approach anyone is in an angle. So if, let's say, for example, you have the gatekeeper facing this way, right? I'm not going to go straight forward to them. I'm more going to go on an angle to them. I'm not going to go this way, forward. No, I'm going to go in an angle so it's not what we call, it's not going to give them their defensive mode. And when I'm talking to them, I'm not going to be face to face with them. I'm going to lean a little bit and give an angle to them, right? Also, your hands is such an important thing, okay? The reason why hands are important is because back in the days, people were scared that you had a weapon hidden, like the caveman days, right? So that's why they say open palms is always a safe way to do things. If you have your hands in, behind your back when you're talking to someone, that can be taken as you're hiding something, right? Non-verbal communication, non-verbally, they may not know that that's what they're feeling, but there's that thought. Also, avoid having your hands in your pockets. I've seen this enough. Now, hands in your pockets, a lot of the reason why a lot of people put their hands in the pocket because it's a soothing, it's a soothing gesture for ourselves. Just think about, the pat in the back that say there, right? We kind of soothe ourselves by putting our hands, in our pockets. And the reason for that, if you pay attention, if you're one of those people that actually do the hands in the pocket, you'll notice yourself that the reason why it's in there because you're kind of nervous and you're actually rubbing your thighs a little bit sometimes because that soothes us a little bit. And so we have to pay attention to that as well. The next thing I always tell people, a lot of the salespeople I train, when it comes to body language, okay, is, your hands, open palm always, you have to look at a square, right? See this square right here that I'm drawing? Your hands needs to stay within that area. It's visible, and at the same time, it's not threatening. Because have you seen those people that talk a lot and their hands are just jumping everywhere? That is distracting. And, you don't want your hands to be, right, the center of attention, right? Now you can use your nonverbal body language to also make certain points. For example, I'm like, what? Well, Mr. Customer, step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this. I'll use that in my presentation sometimes to really make a point. Like, this is number 1, this is the second thing we're going to do, this is the third thing we're going to do. I can even, for example, say, as we start from here, we're going to be able to then take you here. right? I'm doing that. I'm using that with my communication. And it's an important thing. And once you develop that, it adds to your repertoire that you are a good communicator. Pay attention to a lot of the best communicators out there in the world. People that does speeches, you will see them use hand gestures. And it is natural to them. And the reason why it's natural is because they're able to understand the importance that it is going to develop. It's going to add more to their communication. Like you're going to be able to grasp it and bring people. You see that? Grasp people and bring them to you to get their attention, and be able to communicate with them better. Rather than you seeing speakers out there who are timid and their hands are down, their hands are in their sides. I mean, they're not going to grab attention. People make a decision right away who you are. Have you ever met someone in for the first time, and the first time you see them, you're like, I don't like this person? There's three choices all the times. We judge people automatically, and we don't even know that we're doing it. Number one, when you meet somebody, either they like you, they don't like you, or they really are unsure about you. And honestly, the most dangerous thing is to be the part of number three, which is the unsure part. Because if I'm able to use communication and if I'm able to build value automatically and a person ends up liking me, because people like themselves. And if they can like me, then that's a great thing. Now we can just move on. If a person doesn't like me, obviously that means there's an objection, right? They're too busy. They're already working with other agency or whatever it is. Okay, perfectly fine. I can take that objection because I'm sure that you have people that you surround yourself that at one point you didn't like at first, but then eventually you became friends. And that's just it. I need to maybe work a little bit hard to then transition them to see that I can add value to their lives. Third part is the person when you say, I'm not too sure about this guy. Have you ever done that before? Where you say, I'm not sure about this girl, this guy. I can't understand them really, and I'm confused, and there's just something about them. I don't know if I like them. I don't know if I hate them. I'm just not sure. That is the worst position to be in because you need to first put them in a situation. You need to be able to grab them and put them, do you like me or not like me? Because then we can make the right direction from there. So body language is important. Spoken words is important. Voice and tonality is an important thing when you are presenting, when you are trying to present yourself, because the first thing you have to do is present yourself. They must first know you, like you, and then trust you. Just think about that. When you meet someone, how many people do you know, but you don't trust? Right? How many people do you know, but you don't like? So you can't get to trust. That is the thing. Our goal as salespeople, as marketers, is to first let them know who we are. Because that's one of the biggest things. They won't do business with you unless they know you. So henceforth, cold walk-ins, cold call. Then you must first start developing a relationship. So they must first like you, right? So if they don't like you, you need to convert them to liking you. But then how many people do you like that you're not going to do business with them? Right? Think about products that you purchased or you haven't purchased yet. You like the product, you think it's a good product, but you haven't really jumped the gun and purchased it because you don't trust it yet. So that's where we need to go. So we're going to have a whole training just on body language, nonverbal body language, because it's an important part of sales and marketing. So let's go ahead and move on to the next video. Hey everyone, we want to be able to invite you to our 10xpatientreferrals.com, where we have our online home health marketing academy that's going to be able to help either a home health, home care, or hospice agency increase referrals, increase their census, and create a profitable company. Now, at this very moment, you're going to have access to these information through these training, marketing to physicians, how to get to hospitals, how to be able to get into nursing homes, and much, much more at a month-to-month basis with no contracts needed. It's just month to month. Now, guess what? We are offering you guys for a limited time 50% off any one of our plans. Just choose which one is going to be able to work better for you. So just stop by the 10xpatientreferrals.com at any given moment. So these are the plans that are available, whether it's the gold, the silver, or the platinum plan. Most people go for the gold plan, but it's up to you what's going to work for you. We definitely want to be able to have you come in and work with us. So Here's two choices. Go to 10xpatientreferrals.com or click the link down below. Take advantage of this right now at this very moment and sign up with us. We would like to thank our sponsors of this video. And over here at 10xpatientreferrals.com, our goal is to provide you guys amazing information on every single one of our videos. So medicationreminderprogram.com provides daily medication reminders for your patients. They call your patients twice a day to remind them to take their medications. What happens is a top reason of hospitalization for senior citizens is not taking their medications. So this program allows you to be able to keep your patients and not lose any revenue, but at the very same time, it allows you to stand out when you are marketing to other referral sources because you're providing more services, more programs than the competition around you guys. The next thing we want to be able to share with you guys is they have 3 different packages available for you at this very moment. Choose which one works for you. If you're an agency that's just starting up and you have less than 10 patients, you can go with the silver plan. Or if you have 50 patients, you can go with the gold plan. Or if you have up to 100 patients, it is only the choice to use the platinum plan. But guess what? It's up to you which one works for you guys. For a cost of as little as 33 cents per patient a day, it is worth everything for you guys. The next thing is homecareansweringservice.com. It's an answering services for your agency. So if you want to be able to have us handle all the calls for you in the weekends or the off hours when your business office is closed, we can definitely do that. Or we can even answer your calls for you during the day as well. Allows you to be able to do everything for your company. So homecareansweringservice.com is your solution for answering your calls on a timely manner. Now, before we continue on to the video, just need to be able to take a few seconds of your time. And so we want to be able to ask you a question. Are you looking to gain more referrals for your agency, your home health, your home care, your hospice agency? We want you to be able to join us at our Online Marketing Bootcamp that has over 7.5 hours of training. When you actually watch our bootcamp and join our Online Marketing Bootcamp training, so sign up for a limited time at 10xpatientreferrals.com